MotoGP. Faster, forward, fearless.
Where the French Grand Prix begins with Moto3 and the rain has thrown them the predicted curveball. Declared wet race, shortened to 13 laps and only 10 minutes just now of wet weather practice for Adrian Fernandez, Max Keeles and Joel Kelso, who starts on the front row in third place. Then Marco Morelli heads up row 2 alongside David Munoz, fresh from that podium last time out in Spain. Eddie O'Shea up there on the fourth row of the grid in 10th spot. Hakim Danish, keep an eye on him, and Cormac Buchanan as well on the fifth row. We know that he's good in wet, as is Scott Ogden on the row behind him on that sixth row in 18th place. The winner could come from anywhere on this track. I'll remind
There's movement in the pits, the bike is ready and the rider is about to take to the track.
Just now. Neil, this is such a tough one to call, isn't it?
It's a tough one to call. It's also a really slippy track. That's what we've learned whenever you come to Le Mans. Remember the 24-hour race here that obviously Sylvain's competed in. It's a crash fest. Inconsistent feeling. Really slippy. Like that last sector's really slippy. It's like sheet ice. And the riders have got to try and figure that out. It's sort of fortune can favour the brave, but it can be 0 to 0. It's tricky.
And it might not be raining now. Look at the amount of spray that's being kicked back up on these bikes. We're looking at the record books for form, and the problem we've got is, you know, the most experienced runners in the class. Well, we know John Kelso took his maiden podium in the wet 23. The last wet race was 2024, and no one in this class won a race before 2025. Max Keeles won in Italy last year. We've only got 5 winners in the class. He won in Italy last year and a couple of others, including Jerez last time out. Fernandez only won at the end of last year. Munoz only won in Aragon last year. Kini this year. So they're your winners in the class, and look at it already.
Well, Uriarte's already been out the seat, just coming out of garage fair.
This track is so tricky at the best of times. It's a slippery surface, isn't it?
Yeah, the problem is, right, so if you're a confident wet weather rider, but you've not rode round here, you sort of know roughly how hard to push on a normal track, but this is not normal, so some of the favoured riders could be bitten really early on.
Yeah, if you're Max Keeles as well, you know the championship's on the line, you sort of get the feeling, though, that in a race like this, you almost just go for it. Eddie O'Shea clearly feels all right. He goes through on David Almanza, and that's going to be so important, starting well and getting a feel for it quickly in this race. You've got to look at the Brits, you look at maybe Pratama, the Indonesian, Hakim Danish. You know, we know that a lot of Southeast Asian riders come with good wet weather skills from growing up.
Yeah. Keeles is a good wet weather rider as well, I must say, I've seen that.
The ones we've seen do it in the past, Joel Kelso, Scott Ogden.
Scott did get his best ever result in the team.
In Argentina.
Exactly, a good place in the wet. So, let's see.
It's a venture into the unknown road, because none of these riders have ever won a wet race. And we're about to go out in one, or a wet Grand Prix anyway. From 20, it's been reduced to 13 laps. What are they thinking down there? Some riders love it, some riders hate it in these conditions. If you're a championship leader, you have got 37-point cushion. Can you ride free? It's Joel Kelso took his first podium in the wet. He's here contender. It's Adrian Fernandez on pole position. Revs go up, lights go out. We are racing here at the French Grand Prix in Le Mans on a wet track, and a great start, big wheelie from Adrian Fernandez as he goes up the home straight. It's going to be Keeles leading them up through turns 1 and 2 with Kelso in behind him. Not the start Fernandez wanted. Is he going to fire back? Oh, already a crasher in there. Was that Pironi? Someone went down on his collision as well in behind. It's Brian Uriarte was gone. Then the David Munoz was also crashed out. Someone else, is that Yamanaka, who's come onto the inside of the racetrack. So Uriarte already gone. Munoz has crashed out. Max Keeles leading from Marco Morelli. And then Joel Kelso turns inside Morelli through La Chapelle.
Exactly what we said though, strange conditions. I don't know about that turn 1 crash, if that was a collision, or I mean, you'd be unlikely to, let's say, took the front at that point on that one.
I was worried about Mick Pironi because he's had that already this weekend, but he's slotted in behind Casey O'Gorman, who we have seen in the past. The Irishman is a very good wet weather rider, having come through
off in the background as well.
Yeah, that Buchanan. That level up NPA riders, was it? Oh, come on, Buchanan. Yeah, I think you might be right. Buchanan, Kiwi. I'm fancying his chances here because he was so strong in the wet back in Jerez. So, Keeles stretching out at the front. Fernandez starting to wind it up now behind Joel Kelso. Look at his Honda compared to that of Joel Kelso. So he goes up into second place. The Marco Morelli.
Yeah, the problem is in a braking zone like that, you can't squeeze the front brake any harder, otherwise you'll lock the front. So On this opening lap, you have to be so careful. Like I say, we've already seen 4 riders down.
And he is going to take to the inside.
That's aggressive.
Going to leave her open. Joel Kelso. Kelso will try and come back through round the outside of Morelli, but Morelli's up to 3rd place now.
Now we come to the slippy part of the track, believe it or not. It's all been grippy up until this point.
Hakim Danish is the one motoring. The number 13 just going through on Casey O'Gorman. O'Gorman back right on the inside. Not taking anything lying down there, was he? O'Gorman, and he went back through in front of the Malaysian. A lap down. 12 to go. Kelas from Fernandez, from Morelli. Then it's Kelso in 4th spot. Carpe is 5th. Bertelli is 6th. There's Peroni, O'Gorman and Danish. Keep an eye on the Irishman and on the Malaysian. But this is an excellent start from the championship leader with, you would say, everything to lose. But he is riding like a championship leader at the moment.
He is. He's a really confident rider. He's one of the taller Moto3 riders. If you watched his style through that S section, he's using his body, even like exaggerating that his lower body off the bike. He's trying to get his knee down. Basically, he's trying to create some feel.
It helps, doesn't it, to be a taller rider in these kinds of conditions.
O'Gorman's had a great first lap, hasn't he? Up to 8th place from, where was he on the grid? 19.
Yeah, Scott Ogden, meanwhile, he's got up into 12th place on that first lap. Eddie O'Shea stayed in 10th spot. That's an excellent start from him. You can just see him behind Hakim Danish.
Here's another pinch point, down to garage straight, downhill, it's heavy braking. The problem is, it's really hard to save a slide if you lock the front on the brakes in these conditions.
Spray being kicked back up off Max Keles' bike, behind him Fernandez, and at this moment in time, unless you've got a real feeling for it, you just stick behind the rider in front, aren't you? Just letting them feel their way in front of you.
Yeah, and all your sensors are on high alert. You're trying to feel where the grip is. Can I get my knee down? Can I feel the tyres? Oh,
Casey O'Gorman, he's crashed there already this weekend, but down he goes at Shimano.
He's just had a weekend to forget, hasn't he? I think that's his 3rd, maybe even his 4th crash of the weekend, but you can't blame the young Irishman. These are the chances. Like I said, hero or zero. If you can have survived a couple of laps, you generate a bit more heat in your tyre and a bit more feeling and understanding, and it's unlikely you're going to crash.
That hero to zero reminds me of Ralph Malbon in a similar kind of race, isn't it? Coming eventually right from the back. We could be heroes, we could be zeros. Today we were heroes, and you know, that's what can happen in these kinds of conditions. O'Gorman went from 19th up to 8th place, and now unfortunately he's crashed out. What happened to Fernandez off the start here? The pole position. So then when he clicked into...
didn't get him at launch, and it shows it's all about momentum. You can see the collision here. Where's the crash?
Yeah, on the outside. Have a look at Uriarte. Just outside Fernandez.
Oh, on his own! Wow. He was lucky there where he crashed, actually. He didn't end up getting caught up with anybody else.
O'Gorman on the brakes there made up about 5 positions into the chicane. And then unfortunately, I think they've come back. Oh no, yeah, was he helped out there?
It's hard to see.
It looked like he was lifted.
He nudged down.
Yeah. That'd be a shame for him.
Peroni's been down in turn 3.
Oh dear. So another one at the top of the hill at the chicane. That's promoted Eddie O'Shea to 8th place. Scott Ogden actually got past him. Ogden at 8th, the motoring.
That's the standard crash we see here. Look at him, he's got his hand on the clutch all the way. Keeping that bike running. Clever. Good riding.
Full credit.
Tell you what, he's not even lost that much time there.
No.
He kept behind his lap time over the line.
Joel Kelso's run off, has he? Has he gone down there at Shimano? Has he gone down? He just trying to have a seat in the back of shot in Joel Kelso, who's running in 4th place. Yeah, he has. He's crashed. There he is. He's gone down. Oh no, Joel Kelso was riding in 4th spot. Oh, so easily done.
Again, that's all in the braking zone.
Some of the favoured riders.
Yeah, not a crash down. But like I say, these conditions catch anybody out.
It got tight in there, didn't it? For Andrew Fernandez had a moment just through the first part of the raccordement. So, Max Keles, that's this rider on track. Extending a lead now to 0.9 over Andrew Fernandez. Morelli in behind him. He looks like the sort of rider Marco Morelli who's been good in the way, doesn't he? There's something about Marco Morelli. He's got this seasoned feel to him, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a bit like a veteran. He's a class rider, isn't he?
Only 18.
Looks
about 38.
I'm going to say looks much older. Got another crash at sector 1. Which will probably be at turn 3. So we see a lot of riders go down there.
Quartararo up 17th place. on the sniper's bike. So, still, Kilo's out front, Fernandez second, Morelli third. The pace of the front 3 or 4, much better than anybody else. Bertelli's had a good one here. We should keep an eye on him, perhaps, Neil. But Bertelli, where did Bertelli start? Down the order anyway, and he's found himself right up in 5th spot now.
If you look at the lap times, they're lapping at about 13 seconds a lap slower than a dry lap time. Normally, if you've got any normal track, you're about 10 seconds off, roughly. This is a shorter lap, actually, so you'd expect that gap to be more like 8 seconds. So, essentially what I'm saying is, it sort of proves what a greasy, slippy track this is.
10% all, isn't it?
Exactly.
Go by. Oh, now Alvaro Carpe's gone down. Wow, that's big for the championship. With Quiles out front, you know, someone like Carpe needs these points.
No.
Oh, just
an old school high side. Too aggressive on the throttle.
Oh, we got Morelli out at 3rd place now.
We said this track is greasy.
And Max Quiles has just set a new fastest lap of the race, opens up to 1.7 seconds. Morelli rejoins the race. That promotes Bertelli into the podium position. Kini to 4th, Ogden to 5th, Fatima to 6th, Esteban to 7th, Eddie O'Shea up to 8th.
Carefully, as you can see the concentration on Quiles' face. See, Fernandez is completely different riding style. He's not got his knee down, which is a much smaller rider, and he just doesn't use his lower body the same as Quiles. The knee's down all the time, touching, so you can feel what the tyres are doing.
Kelso and Carpe back in as some watery sunshine pokes through the clouds. How long is this break in the rain going to last? Because it looks like there's more rain coming, but that is the end for Alvaro Carpe. No points scored here today. Veda Pratima's on the move, Neil. He's just got past Esteban and Ogden now. So Pratima up to 5th place. Oh, Esteban up to 6th.
Rare you see someone backing it in these conditions, but Quiles looks confident. You know, a lot of these Spanish riders, the training they do, I know throughout in Spain, you think they don't do any wet weather training. They're watering the go-kart tracks, the car parks, they're riding over paint, purposely losing the front to get used to these sort of weird, tricky, slippery conditions.
Because they don't get that much chance in the junior categories to race in these conditions.
On wet tracks.
So Marco Morelli's rejoined in 17th place now.
Do you know, it's crashed Morelli and he only lost, 10 seconds in that lap. Yeah, about 10 seconds in that crash.
Just made the move, hasn't he, on Fernandez, time fly. Now that final walk again a lap later, and Max Quiles now has opened up. He's good in this second half of the lap. He's opened up 3 tenths in that second half of the lap there. With 3 riders in the 153 bracket, Quiles, Fernandez and Bertelli. Kini's up to 4th. Then Pratima 5th. Bertelli's got a long lap now. Where's that come? He's had a shortcut. He hasn't lost a second. Oh, that is, I'm not going to say silly, but in these conditions you can afford to lose 1 second.
Yeah, of course you can.
If you go through the shortcut, you know you are briefed about it. You told me before the weekend, you've got to lose time. Oh, Matteo.
Look at Matteo, he's got a safe 3rd place there, but he's going to lose. Well, actually,
you probably still hang on to 3rd, but you've now got to go through a sketchy part of the track that nobody's riding on, with dirt on it, and now another crash for Brian Uriarte, who was down in 18th position, having crashed right at the start.
Yeah.
I think he needs to come in. After that.
One of those days though, there's going to be very few finishes anyway.
You know what this will do though for Bertelli? This is going to bring Pini, Pratima, Esteban and Ogden into the podium shout battle.
Yeah.
It changes things all of a sudden. As he rejoins, look at the group behind, all of a sudden they're there. And it's Pratima who has got through on Pini. Pratima is motoring. What a start to this young lad's MotoGP career.
It's been impressive, hasn't it? I mean, we knew he was fast, but look at he's had a 5th and 3rd already.
Crashed out, when he crashed out in the USA, he was top 5.
Exactly, and a 6th last time out. So, yeah, he was on the podium in Brazil, if you remember.
Esteban. He's come through behind Pratima, you know. He's like the ambulance chase, you know, like people who do that. The ambulance is going through traffic and people sticking their nose behind. Yeah. That's what he's been doing. Letting Pratima plough and borrow through, and he's just followed it. So Esteban, who was right down the order at the start of the race, has really come through. Just saw Scott off the behind.
Yeah, Pini makes me nervous. A rider who's quite aggressive with the throttle, and it sort of doesn't normally work in these conditions.
Good tall.
Tall, so he can use those, like I say, his legs, his knees, so he can gain a little bit of extra feeling.
So there's Cruz starting another tall rider. He's in 8th, Almanza 9th, Salmona in 10th, the Finn ahead of Eddie O'Shea in 11th. Eddie's just not quite feeling, is it? Hakim Danish is down in 12th, and Jesus Rios down in 13th place with Yamanaka and company, 14th. Ramos. Oh! Big moment for Salmona.
I'll tell you what, it didn't get out of line much more than that before it flipped him on the ground. He did well to save that one. I think it was more luck than judgment.
Eddie O'Shea comes through, looking to make it 4 point scoring finishes out of 5 this year. There he is, in 10th spot, Salmona behind him, and then Danic behind him. My apologies. There's Bertelli then. Pratima sideways down into garage there. Esteban still 5th, Pini 6th, there was Ogden 7th. Cruz is closing that gap though quite rapidly. Back Cruz 13th. Oh! And a crash at the back. James Jesus Rios. So unfortunately Rios not able for miracles here today as he goes down at garage. And that looks like he's racing good. See Shimanover, Eddie O'Shea behind David Almanza. Good company to be keeping.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like every time, I know you spent some time with him earlier this weekend, every time I speak to Eddie, he's building a company.
It's so nice to see, isn't it? Last year was a tough learning year, his rookie season. I thought he did a good job, to be honest, but this year he's done what is expected of him. He's stepped it up.
Yeah, taking that next step, and if he didn't take that step, you start asking questions, don't you?
Exactly.
Fastest rider on track, Neil Hodgson. Matteo Bertelli. About second quicker than Keyless.
Yeah.
I remind you, you've still got 6 laps to go.
But this is where if you're Keyless, you've got 2.5 second lead, which is a decent lead. They say there's 6.5, well, yeah, 5.5 laps to go. You can start to think about controlling it.
Track's drying, and just as less spray around, there's a bit of watery sunshine. Just think of a Moto2 coming up now, Scott Ogden. Oh, he needed a result this weekend. Scott Ogden down in 7th place, and he's got out. Looks like the chicane at the top of the hill.
Takes us inside the pit, where the team is waiting for its rider to return.
And when it's in these kinds of conditions, that's it. You're done. So, Max Keyless just feeling his way through, eyes on stalks.
The rider makes his way confidently to the bike, about to take to the track.
You could see with one of the other cameras, I know Nat spoke to him and he was quite short with Nat, but he was panicking a little bit about his visor, which is normal. You are always concerned in these conditions. You don't want to get any moisture inside the helmet.
Cruz has got a long lap penalty to take, so that will drop him back behind this trio. Almanza, Salmona and Eddie O'Shea. Still Hakim Danish in there. His objective move forward hasn't quite materialised as yet. It's going to be a tricky one for Moto2 to call, bearing in mind their race will be coming up shortly. And a big high side for Salmona out of Shimano, but look at the bike. You know, it looks like they're riding slowly. You can see by that bike, the way it's skittled and flipped out, they are not. They are pushing hard here. And thankfully, it looks like Rico's okay.
Yeah, thankfully he didn't get tied up with the bike and flicked him off. High side in the middle. Oh, it's on the change of direction.
It's exactly where
yeah, the slippy little patch there. Saying that he goes down quite gracefully to see how fast it is.
Rico Salmona falls out of that one. A reminder that Cruz there has got a long lap penalty to take. Still, Keyless is again the sunshine. You can see the shadow underneath the bike. Starts this racetrack.
Yeah, this is some ride. When you're the championship leader in these conditions, you can ride tight, you can be nervous because you know you can throw away a bag full of points. He's done anything but that. He's got the start.
He is not that kind of character, is he? He is made of some tough stuff.
He's a special talent. He's got it all.
Give Fernandez credit behind him, though.
He's keeping him honest.
Keeping him honest, and also how he's grown as a rider over the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, 2 or 3 years ago, Fernandez would have crashed on lap 1. He was that sort of rider, wasn't he, making lots of silly mistakes. Now, he's getting a little bit of a sniff here. The gap's sort of down to 2 seconds. It was 2.3 over the line. I don't know if Keyless maybe made a slight mistake in that up turns 3 and 4.
Or is he managing? Because we've seen him do that already this
Good
year.
at managing.
He thinks, he's such a thinker about things. We saw him roll off, didn't we, when we were in the USA. We saw him last time out sort of sit back a little bit after 5 laps in Jerez, and then came back and streamed away at the front. As now Cruz has dropped back behind Almanza and Eddie O'Shea and Danny Yamanaka.
Yeah, he's now 1.8. We just might have a little race on our hands here. Because Fernandez, if he wants to win this championship, he sits 3rd in it. Keyless has got such a lead.
Interesting here, Neil. In the wet weather, we talk about being a leveller. Yet we've got 1 and 2 on the grid. You know, our 1 and 2 in this race. And class rises, doesn't it, in these kinds of conditions. Matteo Bertelli, fastest lap in 3rd spot. The fastest lap of the race. He was 1.1 seconds quicker. It's going to be too little too late. I'd have thought Bertelli, unless Fernandez can reach Keyless. You know what? Keyless then pulled out another couple of tenths, 4 tenths in that last sector on Fernandez.
It's all that last sector for Keyless. He's obviously feeling confident there.
Well, it worries me a little bit, because that's the slippery part.
Section.
Here comes Cruzes. Through on Yamanaka. Only 18 runners in this race. David Munoz is still out there, down in 18th, having remounted after his early crash. There's Eddie O'Shea. Got a bobble for him there through La Chapelle, with Danish behind.
Yeah, solid 8th place.
Best finish up to now for Eddie in 11th, so it had been on the 3rd row previously in 9th. This day was 10th on the grid, but that could be a best result for the Brit. There is Bertelli motoring. I must take him to Fernandez, you know. That his pace could take him to Fernandez. While it might have bridged too far to get to Keyless, the gap to Fernandez was standing at 3 seconds. And he did take a second off him on that last lap.
It's sort of this lap's the big lap, isn't it? If he wants to risk it.
What about this kid? So impressed by Vader. All that gravel on the track didn't help either. Esteban's had another good ride. Through 20th on the grid. All sunshine around. We're told there's more rain coming. I didn't even know if we're going to get any. Certainly found that out when myself and Nat got absolutely soaked down at the final corner.
It was sort of guaranteed when I was going to do a bit of analysis on the screen outside and you went to go out on track. That was going to be the 5-minute window where it literally poured down. So gap at the front, it is stabilised, it has stabilised that, it's at about 2 seconds.
Bertelli took another half second out there. Fernandez, again, I think it's just going to be too little too late. This is some ride, a little look, he's looking at the screen as he comes up and over the rise. The wherewithal of this kid is right up there. He is, you wouldn't have thought he only started in the championship a year ago when he was 17 years of age. He's only 18 now, just turned 18 back in March. He's got something special. From Mercia as well. And like Pedro Acosta, Alvaro Carpe, Anna Carrasco.
Mean Aldeguer.
Like, imagine at the moment.
All from a relatively small region. Well, the population is huge.
Small in property. The whole of Spain. They've got plenty of microclimates down there as well. But what it's doing seems to produce motorcycle races anyway.
It's in the water. There's quite a few go-kart tracks in there.
Yeah. Golf courses. So, just under, well, just over 2 laps remaining in this race now. So he's got to come through the Espler Max Keyless. There's not, I don't want to say it at this stage, but I'm going to say it, not put the wheel wrong, has he, at any moment?
And
don't say that, no. Full on commentator's curse, but
you're watching a world champion's ride here. That's what it takes to deal with the pressure.
He already has 51 points on Fernandez.
Yeah, and no one's got any experience in these conditions. They had, what, 10 minutes or 5-minute sighting laps. It's the same for everyone. No one's got the perfect setup. No one's got the right gearing.
He's just set a personal best lap. On that last lap, Keyless. The track improved.
Let's hope not. Well, there's 1 and a bit laps to go. And his pit mode, when you have a 2.3 second lead, This is when the arms start to be waving from the mechanics going, that's okay.
A word on Bertelli, who missed out all of last year after starting the year with a couple of pole positions, of course.
This concludes the second free practice round.
If you remember,
while the riders
USA,
return for pits, let's look at the final results of the session.
Yeah, well, we thought that his career was done. It's
a possibility. Horrible head injury.
Yeah, head injury. So, but this will mean a lot to him. The young Italian, nice kid as well. Bertelli.
Yeah.
Well, like say, Gab, he's not had one moment.
MotoGP. Faster. Forward. Fearless.